not going to get her on the phone again. Like, they just give you the runaround. That's what all these corrupt police departments do.
They do give you the runaround.
All these corrupt police departments give you this BS runaround because they can't be held for their actions. Like, they literally broke First Amendment rights and things like that today. And that's what happens. That's how they answer to you.
It's such an illogical arrest that I don't even know, like, what to say about it. Like,
exactly.
There's been crazy stuff before. Like, I remember a guy got arrested because he was reading from the Bible to a group of people who were waiting in line at the DMV.
Jesus. When was that?
It's like a few years ago. I remember seeing that story. Like, like stuff like that. This one irked me, definitely, for sure.
This was today at 6 a.m. and we tried to call and get some information. Yeah. And how long did we spend calling? At least 20, 30 minutes.
We've been online for 32 minutes.
Wow, like that's...
So discounting like the 5 minutes we fixed the printer for.
What a total joke these people are.
Like 27 minutes just trying to get the runaround. We did get some information though.
We got some names
Shout
of
out
officers.
to 5th District, they helped us out.
These, yeah, they ratted on the other district. That was pretty funny.
It's so funny too because like in that own call we got varying information just in those short span of time where one district was saying I can give you information on the other district but I just can't I can't file the complaint here or whatever. Like you can't speak to anybody about it. And then going to the next district, they're like, well, I can't find the information here.
And that woman wasn't looking up anything. Like she was just like,
let me see here.
When are you gonna hang up? When are you gonna hang up? That's what's going through her head.
I know.
And did you hear like 2 or 3 people talking in the background? Like she was like putting the phone on her like shoulder and saying, "What do I say?" Like they're calling about the.
She knew the exact area. She knew the protest.
Yeah.
The only thing that maybe she didn't actually know was the situation. That I semi-believe because she was like, "Oh, I just came on my shift. I never heard this."
Yeah, right.
It was only the. Well,
maybe she's the nighttime lady.
Because
it is late.
There were 4th District officers who went into another district. I'm like, how are you guys going to solve murders with this way?
They don't. Especially in Chicago.
The first 48, right? It's like, yeah, I can't do that because I was 4th District. I went down to 1st District. That's where the murder happened. It's a whole backlog of paperwork. I'm sorry, guys.
That's what we were talking about in our last episode, like huge bureaucracies and like how inefficiencies happen. Like this is a perfect example of what can go wrong in big systems. Because someone from the top of this police department or the mayor's office gave them the orders, hey, go arrest these people. This chalk is a hate crime. Buckets of paint isn't a hate crime, but chalk is a hate crime.
Black preborn lives matter, hate crime. That's just...
All they did was add one word to the previous statement.
Which,
yeah, they didn't omit a word. They didn't change black for another word.
They didn't really even change the meaning so much. Because it's still Black Lives Matter, but just we're this specific segment of the Black Lives.
Exactly. So, how does that even compute in like language terms?
It definitely hurts my head. And some of the protesters that were there, it wasn't like an all-white protest either. A lot of them were black on the video. We're gonna link the video on YouTube. I don't know how I can do it on Twitch. If I can do it on Twitch, I will. But we're definitely gonna link it on YouTube for you guys to see because.
A lot of people like that, they're screaming like they're huge religious people and they were taught like under Jesus Christ all lives matter.
Exactly.
That's why it's people of all race and all creed. It's just Christians that are doing stuff like that.
So obviously we're not going to get to that next hour during the stream, so we still have half an hour to film. Did you have another department or something like that you thought would be a great prank call opportunity? Because I feel like this is just a prank call episode at this point.
We should.
Or do you want to just talk about stuff?
We can do both. I think let's try to maybe call.
I'll do
Joe Biden office.
Let's do the California offices. And what do you want me to do? Do you want me to do Old Prospector?
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
No, you should call up as
or not Old Prospector, Old Western. It was back in my day.
You should do a Southern accent.
The boys used to kiss the girls in the locker rooms.
You should do a Southern accent and
I should do a dementia patient.
Oh.
And then be I'm voting for Joe Biden because he forgets things like I do. I can relate to a candidate like that.
You
One
have to be
time
able
I put
to
the
talk and not laugh, though. How are you gonna
One
do that?
time I put the toothbrush in the refrigerator.
Oh, Jesus.
What should I do? Who do you want me to call?
I don't know. Maybe we can just talk it off. I feel like it's a little late for that.
Just talk it off, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely with this situation, I'm just like completely dumbfounded. That just shows, like, imagine if those were like our cousins or our sisters.
Yeah.
Like how they can get lost in the system. They've probably been booked. They've been probably booked in there since 6 a.m. But
They're still there, probably.
I think like actual prank calls break like the Twitch term of service. But like if you're calling to inquire,
Are prank calls TOS? Or
I don't
against
think
TOS?
so. I don't think so. But like what we were doing earlier,
Against
when you're
terms of
calling
service.
to like inquire.
I inquired, yeah, and also
It's
before they said
it's
any
for the rules, yeah.
and before they said any non-public information,
For the
I
law,
said
not for
you're
Twitch.
being recorded.
Yeah,
just so
we
you know.
100% clean there. That just shows you what goes on down there. Because like, to be honest, to call by yourself, you had to have cojones to do that, and you had to have like potentially a lawyer yourself. But
I know, because you feel like you could trip yourself up at any moment too.
yeah, and get
Like,
yourself in trouble with
Here's
them.
the best example of the trip up. You know when she said to me at the end, "Hey, how about this? How about you leave your name and number, and we'll get back to you." That's
Exactly, yeah.
That's how they catch you.
Yeah,
Never, ever, ever leave your name and number with the police. Don't be like they think we're stupid, but that's like the thing. Like I feel like that's why they have these nice, like humble sounding girls for the most part doing the phone calls because it's like I'm just a sweet,
My 30-year-old girl with a communications major, and this is the only job I could get.
I'm Paula Dean. I just like cook frying chicken and getting you sweet tea. I would never do anything with your phone numbers. Just give
Meanwhile,
me your name,
the
address.
person right next to her
they're
is
like
Googling.
No, they have like the one like earphone down and like the spinning tapes.
Exactly.
That's how they put you on their shit list. Like you understand, they're gathering information that way. That's why that's not a real number. That's not my SIM card number. That's why.
I think this is why so many people are for reform, both on the left and the right.
The right talks about it less, but when you see a thing like that, then all of a sudden they're like, reform sounds good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like not defund, but reform sounds good.
Yeah, reform, more training. I say fund them even more.
And like the power that some of these progressive mayors have over the
Police
department sounds ridiculous.
Especially in New York City.
This should be like its own ecosystem, a police department. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it should
like,
be independent. Like the Justice Department.
They shouldn't be
is independent
politicized.
from the
They shouldn't be
executive
politicized.
branch
Yeah,
a tiny bit.
Yeah, they shouldn't be politicized. They shouldn't be thinking like, oh, we should go down and like mess with these Planned Parenthood people, or if you're in a conservative city, we should really crack down on Black Lives Matter protests because we know it'll look good for our city council, and the city council will give us more funding.
The police departments have been extremely politicized.
I agree.
Like in San Francisco, I think you can like break or steal up to like $800 in property, and it's just like a ticket or a violation, a piece of paper. Like you don't even get booked.
Yikes.
So different cities have like bended the laws, and they enforced some laws and they don't enforce the other. Like for example, that couple in Atlanta where they like had their property breached, their gate broken into, and they like defended their property. Like they found some BS reason to arrest them. Like that law was enforced, but all the people who broke and enter, that law of breaking and entering wasn't enforced.
My mom will like every 2-3 months or so be like, and sometimes it's more frequent depending on the situation. Like I just recently moved back home. It's a lot more frequent now. But yeah, like pretty much since I was in like sophomore year or something, or even before that, every 2 months or so she'll bring up like, Chris, have you given like some thought to like law school? Or she'll be like, you'd be a great lawyer. You'd be a great constitutional lawyer and stuff like that. And shit like this is the probably one of the biggest reasons why I'm always like, no, because I just can't anymore. Everything is too.
This would boil your blood.
No,
it would take years to defeat and reverse.
But it's too contradictory. It's too diffused. Like
they cite the Constitution, we cite the Constitution, and there's no answer. And these poor people suffer in prison for a while.
What was the thing?
They're political prisoners.
What was the thing that you just brought up though? Before I went on that tangent, because I had a point about that.
About what?
Like what we were just talking about before we went on the. It's okay if you forgot.
No, I mean I remember. I guess maybe I don't.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't. I was cultivating something, and I was just.
Gotcha.
I almost
then you
got to
remembered
it.
your mom.
Damn. Yeah, I know. Seriously. No, what I was going to say is like with just. I'll just go back to this then. Is like you can say. Deface the police, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't write this. It's like it's two sides of the same coin. I don't understand it.
Oh, I was saying how they enforce some laws and not the other. Like that you can graffiti town hall, but if you put chalk, you can write ACAB,
thank you. You got me back to it. What I was going to say is with the couple. That's what I wanted you to say. The couple.
Oh, in Atlanta.
in Missouri.
Are you sure it was Missouri?
Yeah, St. Louis, or somewhere around there. They used guns on their property, but they didn't even fire the guns. They just stood there, waving them around. Not even really aimed it, but just kind of like held them there.
The pictures were of aiming
to their sides. They
distorted it that way.
The issue is
the district attorneys
no
pick and choose their cases.
No. The issue is, and this is why I was saying with law that I could never get into it, is that they're in Florida in like 2013. Everyone remembers the George Zimmerman case. That man got off by a thing called stand your ground laws, right?
That's a Florida law, yeah.
No, but it's in a lot of different states.
Yeah, it's not just Florida.
How is it that a guy not even pointing a gun, definitely not firing a gun, on his own property, not even on the open streets like George Floyd or George Zimmerman was, gets in trouble? But George Zimmerman, who's not on his own street, was a daytime watch guy or a nighttime watch guy who shouldn't even had a gun on him, pulls it out on a guy who he was following, who he thought was suspicious, kills the guy, and then gets off for it because of stand your ground laws. Like that exact example is so contradictory and hurts my head to think about. Is basically the biggest reason I could never get into law.
Yeah, just the span of different years and different districts and different departments, like you saw today. This department, that district, they all support different things and have different sentencing. You can get the same crime in different parts of the state. Like down in downtown Miami, you could have like 10 grams of any substance on you, and they might just do a ticket violation.
And then you drive across the border to Delaware, and then all of a sudden it's a federal crime.
No, even if you stayed in Florida,
14 years.
You went to the middle of nowhere, like Gainesville or somewhere around Tallahassee, those areas would prosecute you for years for the same amount of substance down there, even though it's the same states.
Different county laws on top of different state laws, on top of different federal laws, on top of maybe even different city laws.
Yeah.
Like, there's a thing, here's one example of one. Dry counties. Have you heard of those?
No.
We repealed the 18th Amendment with the 21st Amendment, which, as you guys know, made alcohol legal again. I believe it was the 21st. I know it was the 18th that made alcohol illegal. So that means that prohibition's done. There are still counties, and there used to be a lot more in this country, where they still set all across the country. I'll show you a picture one day where you can't buy alcohol. You can't buy liquor.
I believe it.
Does that make any sense to anybody? Federal law, it's okay to purchase alcohol. We're a county. We're going to say no alcohol in our whole... Some counties are thousands of square miles big.
Yeah.
Does this make any sense to anybody? It doesn't make sense to me.
That makes a little bit more sense than two places with the same law and they choose to enforce it for political reasons and they don't enforce some laws for political reasons.
But that's what it is, Jeffrey, is you can have a state... Like Nevada, for example, and let's say the Reno County is dry, and then which would never happen, and then the Las Vegas County was, of course, a wet county, right next door to each other. So if I'm in a car and I've got a beer or something like that, which it would never happen, but okay, I'm walking the desert, right? All of a sudden I walked into the dry county. Now I can be arrested for that. I'm in the exact same state.
But those are two different counties with different laws. I'm talking about when two counties have the same law and then one chooses to enforce it and one doesn't choose to enforce it.
But that's but see, now you're getting into a totally different thing because that's not on the books.
That's what's been happening
My
lately.
thing is on the books.
Yeah.
Your thing is more of just like a discussion between the officers. It's more of a feel. It's more of a bureaucratic insider thing where officers there will say, "Fuck, I'm not arresting people or pulling people over for going 5 over the speed limit," and then the next city over, they're like, "We're doing that all day. That's how we make our money." You know?
Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, the charges that these people got for just using chalk and the laws that were cited to arrest them could have been applied to anyone. The people burning down the church on Lafayette Square, like the people writing ACAB, anarchy signs, F the pigs, all those, like, with spray paint instead of chalk. The same laws could have been applied to them, but the mayor's office politicized those crimes and said, hold back on those crimes.
Right. Everything is illegal for everybody until you do it in a big group. If you try to take down the statue of Andrew Jackson in, I think it was Lafayette Park, if there's more than 20 of you, there's a good chance none of you are going to get arrested. Yeah. Certainly not all of you are going to get arrested. If a group of 50 or more people try to do just about anything in this country,
then it's a peaceful protest.
Or then we need to let the situation diffuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Let it diffuse. It'll burn itself out. Really?
Because those mayors see those protesters as their constituents. Like, those are the people that are going to vote for them. So if like the Minnesota mayor, the Minneapolis mayor, he was really pandering to the people, and then by the end of the week, the whole police precinct was on fire. Because imagine you were like me and you were just an average person, you were calling like every day, and they kept giving you the runaround. Those people just stormed the police station and set it on fire. It's
like a freedom of information thing. Like, those things you get done, they just sometimes, like you said, give you the runaround, and they're hoping that you don't have like a couple $1,000s to spend on lawyer fees and the time to go and like get a judge to sign off on your affidavit or whatever it is that gets you the freedom of information thing, that gets you all the information that you have a right to have in the first place.
I think the main reason why these protesters are like in Portland, more recent, they're targeting like the courthouse, and in June 1st in Minneapolis they burnt down that police precinct, is because like all this evidence, and they have case files going back decades. Mm-hmm. This evidence is sometimes sealed and it stays in that filing cabinet. Like, this evidence isn't uploaded to the cloud. So if that police precinct burnt down, all the criminal files burnt down. So like someone who previously had a criminal record is free.
You said an interesting thing earlier about they're protecting their voters. I want to give like a real world example that I think kind of applies to that. Think back to before Kamala Harris became a senator. She was, like the district attorney in one of the districts of California, probably one of the most important.
Locking up people for marijuana charges.
I was literally about to say that. You jumped the gun on there.
Sorry.
On that. No, it's totally fine. Because you know where I'm headed before I even do. No.
Yes.
Kamala Harris arresting people for minor drug possessions, minor weed possessions. Yeah. But then in her city, if there's the mob rule that happens in Portland and all that, she wouldn't be going on arresting those people either. It's like I said, like if it's a group of 50, if it's a group of 40 or more people, you're not like, you can do just about anything. It's this new rule that I've never
Wait till I drop
understood.
This on you.
Go for it.
Kamala Harris is on tape. Kamala Harris, whatever. Camel toe
Mia
Harris.
Khalifa.
Okay.
Harris.
If Joe Biden picks her, all the RNC should do is just run ads of her attacking Joe Biden in the debates, like the very first debates, like her calling him a racist. Anyway, get back to the point, what I was going to drop on you.
But do you understand why I brought that up? Because it kind of goes against what you're saying a little bit. Because if she was really trying to protect her voters, she wouldn't be locking up people for a gram of weed.
But that was like a decade or two ago.
She's an opportunist. That's the thing. She wants to look like, oh, I'm tough on crime, just so that they can go up the corporate ladder. And then as soon as the mood in the country changes, then all of a sudden...
She's picking off like easy targets from the poor neighborhoods that are going to 95% vote for the governor Newsom.
But that's why it's a little shocking.
They don't go into Beverly Hills and pick off those people for drug crimes, because those are the people donating hundreds of thousands. Now listen to this.
But that's their main
She's on video laughing about all the people she locked up for weed crimes. And when she
Sounds
was
like
asked,
a Hillary Clinton thing. Right?
yeah, when she was asked if she's ever smoked it herself, she laughed. So she can dictate
on the Breakfast Club, she confirmed that she smoked.
Yeah, so
Bernie Sanders, everybody.
She can prosecute other people, but she would never turn herself in. So these people have like a moral compass, and they choose, oh, I'm going to prosecute this side, but these people are okay. No, the law dictates that it should be all of these people, unless, eventually it's legalized like it probably should be.
That's another reason I would never go into law, because
Yeah.
I feel like later in life I would want to maybe at some point run for some kind of public office. And when you do something like that, your paper trail goes from this to fucking this. It's insane. They'll find a case, like they did this with all the judges and justices that recently have been getting appointed. Some of them failed because of cases like this. And they'll be like, hey, in 2012, you sent a black woman to jail who had 2 kids at home. You realize those kids probably went hungry multiple nights because of the action you did.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to do the law. I was told to follow the law. Like, how could you say this, man?
If I ever run for office, like 2050, 2045, whatever it is.
2050?
Well,
how old would you be?
50 years old. That's prime. That's prime congressional age. But
that Congress
the biggest
goes straight to the Senate, dude. You know what Nixon said? We should do a Nixon quote every day just for the fuck of it. Nixon said the Senate's the Senate is chicken salad, the House is chicken shit.
Yeah, but you'd have to work your way up. You can't just come from nothing.
Kamala
Everyone wishes
did, bro.
they could just go right to the Senate.
Kamala did.
She had her mouth open in the right places.
Barack Obama did.
That's true, but he was a lucky community organizer. He jumped from community organizer to senator.
No, well, he was also like in the Illinois party stuff.
Yeah, he was like a mover. He was a community.
We just had a
organizer.
very weak candidate go up against him. If you guys want to watch a debate, we'll go watch the Alan Keyes versus Barack Obama 2004 Illinois Senate race. He did that race, and then
Illinois was already under.
No, I know, but Alan Keyes, it was a weak candidate as well, unfortunately, for the situation. But what's crazy is he wins, and then like the next day they invite him to do like the keynote speech for John Kerry to stump at the DNC.
Yeah,
and that was basically like people look back, like David Axelrod looks back and says like, "Yo, that's when he started his campaign for presidency." Because they're like, John Kerry's gonna fuck John Kerry. He's got no chance.
I think I have a theory that whenever it's like a Republican incumbency, like John Kerry was one of the weakest candidates.
Democratic candidates?
Yeah, and Joe
Close
Biden
to.
is very weak as well, like appears weak.
Close
like
to being the
old.
weakest candidate. Do you know who I would say
Yeah.
was a little weaker on the Democratic side? No?
Take a guess. No, I can't take a guess.
Take a guess, though.
For what? Does it fit my criteria where if there's a Republican incumbent?
Yeah, you might know.
What? I don't know his name, but the guy who ran against Reagan,
No, he was actually a good candidate, it's just Reagan was so good.
Yeah, exactly. What's his name?
My man over here. What am I just doing?
What's the guy who...
I screwed it up.
ran
Michael
against Reagan?
Dukakis.
Oh, Dukakis.
One of the worst candidate.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone
So
against
whenever
anybody.
there's a Republican incumbency, they always put up a weak candidate. But they could pull it off somehow with Joe Biden. I would give it like a 50-50 right now, just because
I'm curious what the betting lines are.
It's like 50-50. Go to like predictit.com.
I'll just find it through here, but keep talking. Bookies.com.
Predictit.com has a really good political betting website. We're not sponsored by them or anything. I just used
Joe Biden is negative 167.
Okay, Donald Trump
That's
plus
very
150.
close.
So that means if you put in
So
$100, you win back 150.
Exactly.
So if you put in 100 towards Donald Trump, you would get back
150.
No, 250 total. You get your original 100 back, and you get 150 profit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some people don't understand betting on
that's not that far apart. That's really close, actually.
Yeah, but Trump is still he's the underdog right now. But before COVID in January and things like that, he was favored to win, but slightly. So he was like negative 90 or something like that. He wasn't like Biden right now, negative 150. But he was over the 50 cents on your dollar mark. So
Who
Trump,
was?
like in January when everything was at a record high.
Oh yeah, like before COVID,
He was
Trump
favored
was
to win.
by like quite a bit
couple
in the betting
percentage,
odds.
yeah.
In the polls, he was
Never
always down.
60% favored to win, but like 52, 53, never more than 55.
Yeah, I think I saw 57 at one point.
Maybe.
It was
possibly.
getting crazy for a little
Maybe
bit.
that number printed 1 or 2 days.
COVID destroyed everything, and also what I wanted to add to that really quickly was it's crazy the disconnect between the pollsters and the betting odds people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's people putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, that's true.
Odds.
But really quickly to that, it's almost like what we were talking about the other day. How like sometimes you'll go on Metacritic, and the Metacritic ratings will be like 70% for something like that, and then the user reviews will be like 90, 92. That's because all the critics have their preconceived notions. They're all from the same kilt, you know. Most of them are, at least. They'll, you know.
That's like the Rotten Tomatoes reviewers. Like they slant one way.
Whenever there's a disconnect between that, I'm always interested in what the thing is.
The film is
Like it's like Amy Schumer in all leather doing a comedy special. 90% critics, 42% users.
Audience score, 0. That happens so much.
I don't know. We'd have to. This is probably more of a question for you two, but I don't know. Would you guys be interested in that? Like seeing us like do like reviews of it? Maybe not live because that's a little boring, I think. But like post reviews and like maybe doing like clips and stuff like that. Obviously, we have to keep them down to like under 6 seconds to avoid like copyright or whatever the case may be. But we could do like a little clip here and then like say like that's horseshit.
What I was trying to say 10 minutes ago that I'm most afraid of when we run like in 2040 is they're gonna release like the Xbox or the PS4 chat logs from 2010 when I was like a 10-year-old kid. You said 200 curse words in the span of 5 minutes.
You don't trust Bill Gates? He's
I
under
don't trust
sworn testimony. This man put his left hand on the Bible and his right hand up, or whatever he does these days, and he said, after 6 months, we delete all that shit. We're not interested in what you're talking about, man. We just were like, hit delete on that, man.
The cabal, they have a folder on everyone, like the Lindsey Graham
you
guy.
can't say cabal anymore. That's a dog
Illuminati
whistle. That's
that.
a dog whistle. You can't say
What
that
do you mean
anymore.
by that?
You know how like we were watching yesterday with Nick DiPaolo, and he was saying like globalist. When you say globalist, that's supposedly a dog whistle for Jewish. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is horseshit for 99% of the people.
What is cabal a dog
Same
whistle
thing.
for?
Jewish.
Oh really? I meant it was like a synonym for Illuminati when I said it.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just messing with you, obviously.
Yeah.
But like we can't say these words now, man.
They're getting the double speak for the words.
Exactly.
You can't even say thugs because then they think, that's like another word.
I remember that. Thug is the new N-word.
They always are on Trump for that word. Like when the MSN 13 gangs, like just 20 minutes.
Some people do say it like that, though.
Yeah.
You definitely can hear it when they're like, these thugs out there. When they put that emphasis on the T and the H, you know what's up.
Possibly everything's contextual,
yeah.
Contextual.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. That's crazy, man. That's
we got a
crazy.
comment.
Oh shit! Well, I'm Waterjug. You guys could bring up pictures or Twitter posts on stream or anything you guys are talking about to help viewers understand what you're talking about too.
We'll have to figure out how to do that. Yeah, we're very new at this.
Jeffrey, why wouldn't we be using that right now? Could it possibly have anything to do with a CPU issue or anything like that?
Yeah, we got to upgrade the CPU on the computer.
Give them a total explain because you know that I'm interested in doing stuff like what Waterjug is talking about, but that will prevent it. Just so that it's not. They think it's not.
We're upgrading our stuff. So right now we shelled out for a decent camera that can do 4K, like a Sony one. And I had like a computer rig. So the capture card, you have to have a camera to a capture card. We learned all about this in like 2 weeks, maybe less, maybe a week.
Like a couple days.
Yeah, we did a lot of Geek Squad calling and YouTube tutorials.
But no, the specific reason that I can't just go on the video sharing or whatever it's called from my Mac to his computer that's running this.
Bad.
But tell them the brand.
Oh, it's not even like an Intel i3. It's
not even an i3.
So somehow
I didn't even know that. We called the guys who helped set this up for us
from Elgato,
and the man said to me, "I shit you not." He said to me, "I don't know how this is running right now." It's defying the tech laws that below an
I'll
i3
give the
core
specs
processor.
for the people who are interested in
Yeah,
computers.
drop the
and just
spec.
a little background. So this computer.
If you want me
in
to look
20
it up from here, actually, if you want.
No, so this computer had you can remote desktop to the thing and then
And I'll
click
look it
about
up,
in the
yeah.
settings. Yeah, but try not to make the computer run too hard,
crash, yeah,
so it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
crash. But so this computer we got in 2017. I got into crypto mining, and when Ethereum was like $40, I started ordering the parts, and then by the time all the parts came, Ethereum was like $80, and this was during the first parabolic run, and it went all the way up to like 1,200, and I mined it for about a year, and we sold, I would say, like 25% of the coins at the top.
It
and
also
the rest
doesn't
we
help, by the
converted
way, that
into
there's only
Chainlink and things like that.
7.76 gigabytes
Free?
of free space.
Well,
at
we have it
110.
hardwired to the
That
camera.
definitely doesn't help.
And it has a 128 gigabyte in the camera.
Right.
But
No, I mean like in terms of like things moving faster on the computer.
so this computer had such a bad CPU because the crypto mine you only need GPU. So I bought like a $40 CPU in 2017. But it also has a 1080 Ti with a little water cooler on it. So I feel like the video card is picking up a lot of slack for our setup here.
Remind me again where I'm headed
But
to.
eventually we want to get into, if this takes off, like we have big dreams, like put a camera here for my face, put a camera there for his face, and then do
Right.
what this kind Twitch commenter commented about
His snarky Twitch comment.
his snarky Twitch comment about all the little Twitter links and how we put them on stream. We're getting there, okay?
It's like
We're gonna
it's
pull
like
up
day
all these
4,
different,
you know?
day 5 of our thing, and
Oh,
people
where-
are already
where is it?
demanding.
I know.
want to see the Twitter
I want to
thing
see the
right on the
pores of
screen.
your skin.
Yeah.
Where is the local? It's local disk, and then where do I go?
No, you have to go to the
Windows?
settings on the computer. It's not in the file founder.
Where is it?
It's go down to the little start window
Okay.
and then type in about.
Oh yeah, that's it. I forgot it was that easy. I haven't had a Windows in forever.
Yeah, you're on
About
a Mac.
your PC.
About your PC. So so my motherboard is also old. So my motherboard, I had to look up what CPUs were compatible.
All right, listen to this. It's almost a joke to say. All right, it's an Intel Celeron CPU G1840 at
840.
at 2.8 gigahertz.
8 gigs of RAM.
8
That's
gigs
decent.
of RAM, that's decent. And then
Could be
will it say
16 for
motherboard
streaming
here
in
or it
4K.
won't?
No, it won't tell the motherboard, but it's a Z97 Extreme 4. So I
How is
looked
it
up.
running Windows 10? That's crazy.
It's
as well.
always been running Windows 10
I'm
since
impressed by that.
2017.
I'm impressed by that though.
Yeah, and it's also a paid-for copy. It's not a pirated, so that helps.
Water jokes. Sorry for taking you guys off topic. Not demanding, just giving tips.
No, we appreciate it. Yeah, no,
What's
we
this
appreciate
guy's?
it.
we should.
We're gonna get there
We should
eventually.
dox this guy.
No.
This is
They're
your
gonna
cousin,
dox
right?
us.
This is your cousin.
I'm not sure who that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I think my cousin's just in the viewers. But anyway, so we're gonna upgrade parts like that. So, when we uploaded the podcast to Spotify, you're able to put sponsors like right away, even if you only have 2 or 3 views. So like if you get 1,000 views, like you get like $15 or something like that.
That's right.
Per
Everything.
download. So that's gonna pay back the HDMI cables, and then maybe one day I can get a better CPU.
That's right. Everything. That's probably priority number 1. Let's be honest. Everything on here is on YouTube. Recently moved to Spotify and also Apple Podcast. So I feel like that's gonna be kind of unique. I hope you guys appreciate that you're gonna be able to watch this on 5 different platforms.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're in your car, you're at home, whatever it is, and we'll hope to do it like regularly and entertaining, and add stuff like video games and other little videos.
Last thing, just to wrap up that
Yeah.
that tangent into like computer specs
We're gonna
and how
wrap
to set
things
up
up.
your stream for this all over the place episode.
Mm-hmm.
But you should look up what parts are compatible with your motherboard. Like this motherboard is like 4 years old, no more than 5 years old, and it's only compatible with an Intel i7. That's like 5,000. That's what the number is, and this CPU is only 840, so it's going to be a 5 times upgrade. But now they have like i9s and things like that. But this motherboard, even though it's only a couple years old, the maximum that it can support is like an i7 5000. But that's going to be a big jump. And thankfully, like I was saying in the other podcast, to tie things together, like per episode, to tie episodes together.
A little bit.
Thank God, like I went into crypto mining and I mined for like almost a year and moved it into other coins and stuff, and it sort of paid off that equipment, because if I didn't have that equipment already and I didn't do my job,
do your job
and learn all those things and how to do it and keep up with the miner, make sure it's always running, and do what it takes to pay off that equipment, I wouldn't have 80% of the equipment needed to stream something like this. So you can be in a lot of fields and bring it all together. And once you're in a position of like power and money, you can stand up for these two poor girls that got arrested today at 6 a.m.
One guy and one girl.
One guy and one girl.
But hey, guys, on a more serious note, and to really end the conversation here, today's actually tomorrow midday, I'm actually going to be leaving NYC for a little bit.
Exactly, but we crammed out as much content as we could.
Yeah, we banged out a lot, so hopefully when you discover this stuff and you come to this point, you kind of got your fill for a little bit, and if it takes off and we do well, we get a little bit of traction. He's going to be coming back to New York. Coming back, hopefully, and also doing stuff on the side, so you might just see Jeff for a little bit. If you don't end up recording tomorrow, then this might be goodbye for a little bit, and
yeah, thanks for coming over, bro. I appreciate all the help. We
been
both
a
learned
hell of a
together.
trip,
We
right?
both had no idea how to really set this all up, but I definitely wouldn't have had the motivation to do it alone. We've been talking about a podcast since high school, so I appreciate you being the first guest on the show, and definitely
dude,
a sponsorship,
of course, bro.
A partnership
Guest,
from here on out.
Co-host,
yeah. So.
But hey, guys, once again, we appreciate you. Check us out at YouTube, Twitch.
Thanks for that one commenter with
Instagram.
the tips. We didn't mean to be too hard on you. We'll take all the advice we can.
Instagram, Spotify, and
More to come.
Apple Podcast. Twitter. And once again, guys, as always, remember to keep it postal.
Adios from the studio apartment.
See ya.